Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live night. Oh, YouTube, if you're listening, y'all need to make it so I can preview this before I start, so I don't have to start every single live night checking myself. All right. Welcome, everybody. I know I'm a little late tonight. My husband is headed off to Norway tomorrow, so we're just like a little crazy trying to get everything ready to go before he leaves. I'm also like on cat duty for my friends. I've got to check their cats pretty much every day for the next like week since I'm not going to their wedding in Norway. I'm very jealous because Norway is like on my bucket list, especially because there's a lot of Norwegian really cool old stuff up there, especially like spirituality wise, like looking into Norse gods and runes. I'm so jealous. I told my husband if he finds runes when he goes, he has to get me some. Anyways, let me pull out my little sheet here. Welcome. If you didn't catch me this time, you want to catch me live next time, I go live basically every other Tuesday. But if you are a Patreon member, you also get to see me on the last Tuesday of every month. That is a member-only live. We basically hang out. We do readings individually. I do a group reading, same thing. Last time we did a psychic game together, and it was totally like channeled by my guides. It was really cool. And it's actually led me to decide to add another perk to our Patreon. So bear with me. I'm just going to explain this a little bit. So Patreon, you sign up at different tiers. Different tiers gets you access to perks. So like most basic tier, you're going to get access to voting, to hang out with us, to like exclusive Patreon videos only. And then you get early access. So every video that you see here on my channel, Patreon members get it about 2 days earlier than everybody else. So you can get in there, you can comment, you can watch it before everyone else. And then, so that's like the $3 tier. And then we got the $5 tier. And basically you get all of that plus a little bit more. And the little bit more for the $5 tier is coaching Q&A. So people send in their questions and I go ahead and answer them all in like one video in the same month. So like, for example, one of our Patreon members today asked, I'm about to do that video, how to come out to your family about your like spirituality and liking doing psychic things. I thought that was such a great video idea. So like I'm going to answer that question plus some other questions. Then at the $7 tier, that's where you're going to get that monthly live night. $11 tier is where you get a reading from me every month. So sometimes that's tarot cards, sometimes that's me kind of just talking at the camera. But it's a kind of like a 45-minute long to an hour long reading every single month. I'm kind of wondering if I should do like pick a cards instead of just one long video. Maybe I should do that. Anyways, I've been very like creative and coming up with like a crap ton of ideas for my channel lately. So hopefully you'll see that all manifested soon. But I am going to be adding at the $11 tier. Sorry, Patreon members, I haven't even told you about this yet. But I basically decided in between our last live night and tonight. But I'm going to be adding a night that is specifically psychic development night. So if you don't want to show up for the personal readings, like you don't have to, but if you do want to show up for psychic development nights, it's basically going to be another live night. And I'm going to probably put it on the night in between all of these other live nights, if that makes sense. I'll let you guys know in the Patreon. But basically, we're going to play a game. So even if you don't show up live, I'm going to be teaching you something, teaching you a psychic development game, like giving you the space and the time to try to guess, throw up your answers. Like, for example, what we did last live night was I kind of had everybody get an answer psychically without a question. So I said, hey, Lauren's asking a question, pick up the answer. You know, we were testing it out what it was like to not have the question in front of you and just focus on your abilities and receive that answer. And then I actually gave them the question. And then I had them kind of wipe the slate clean, tune back into it, and see what they got. And we kind of played around with the differences of like, how did that feel when you knew the question versus when you didn't have the question? So that's like a very basic exercise. We literally came up with it on the spot. But I loved it so much that I think what we're going to do with that $11 tier is we're going to add in another live night where we play a psychic game, and I actually lead you through so you can practice your psychic abilities with me. Sometimes they will be, what I should say is, when we get enough people in Patreon, I want those to be Zoom, like face-to-face nights. Maybe not all the time, depending on how everyone feels, but yeah, throwing it out there. That's $11 tier. There's $1 one tier above that, but that's just kind of like if you want to donate a higher amount of money, but you get the same stuff, just to kind of support me and my channel. Sorry, that's my Patreon pitch. Wanted to throw it out there. Wanted to let you guys know that additional perk that's coming through. I'm gonna read the chat really quick. Rune magic is pretty interesting. Yes, and we are going to have, I'm going to be putting up a rune video soon. I'll ask you in a second about my other question. Hey, Jana. Long time no talk. Hey, Johnny. Hey, Silly Rabbit. Hey, Erica. Just got here. Everyone's saying hello. All right, I've got my timer set for our member reading tonight. We have a group reading, and then we'll jump into individual readings. And with individual readings tonight, if you donate, I'm going to be pulling from my new deck, which is the Lenormand. I'm probably saying it wrong, but this is tonight's kind of theme, and I wanted to go over it because I got this new deck. And basically, this has been on my list for a while. Lenormand is, and I'm going to eventually have a whole, I try so hard not to shake this table. I apologize. That's another thing. I'm all over the place tonight. I'm going to be upgrading a lot of stuff in this room so that I can film a little bit better in here, including these live nights. Because I rewatched one of the live nights and I did not realize how choppy my audio is sometimes and how much I shake this stupid computer. So I'm sorry. I'm going to try to make that a little bit better for you guys. But I also want to get a table in here so I can do pick-a-card readings, and I don't have to drive all the way to our studio just to make those. Because then I'd make a lot more of them. Anyway, tonight, Lenormand. So the Lenormand card deck, I will have a full video on this later when I've messed with it for a while and I really feel like I know what I'm talking about. But right now I'm learning, and you guys know my live nights are where I like to practice and learn. So Lenormand, I will show you, is different than Oracle, different than Tarot. So the Tarot deck right here, and this is not a good representation of how thick they are. This is a very heavy card stock for a Tarot deck, but this is the size of the Tarot. And this is the size of the Lenormand. So Lenormand is traditionally a lot smaller. 78 cards is the Tarot. Lenormand is 36, so it's a really tiny deck. And this is not the original. This is not the original artwork, and I'll show you a little bit more of it. This is kind of like a more artistic representation, similar to like how this is not obviously the Rider-Waite version. This is somebody else who made their own artistic representation of the Rider-Waite tarot. Because the traditional Lenormand actually it's like a card within a card. It looks like a playing card on top of another card printed on the same card. Hope that makes sense. Where was I going with this? But the reason why I got this is I had a deck that I wasn't really interested anymore in, and I jumped on a Facebook group that I've been in for a long time. It's called Tarot Swap. If you are in my Psychic Development Facebook group, I shared it there recently if you want to jump over there. But basically, you find other people that are willing to swap decks with you. So I swapped out an old deck that I hardly even use anymore, and I got this so that I can learn the Lenormand. I've played with it a handful of times. We're going to play with it a little bit more tonight. And yeah. So if you want that tarot group or that tarot swap group, it's all stuff. Oracle, Lenormand, tarot. People are up there trying to trade decks all the time. It's just the honor system. Like, you send yours, they send theirs. You guys send each other your tracking information. And I've gotten a lot of new decks that way. Why am I I think I'm a little crazy from just going all day. Do you have any classes for developing your psychic abilities? Well, yes, Ashley. funny that you asked. I do. If you visit my website, you can see a link to all my classes. I also have one-on-one courses as well. Hello, Sarah. First time here from South Carolina. Yay, Linda. Thanks for jumping in. Serious cancer energy coming from you. But so scattered. Yeah. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is today. I think I'm just really excited. Again, I've just been in a very creative space. I've just been getting like downloads from spirit, like the last couple days about my channel, just new ideas, new video ideas is just coming out every end. I don't have any cancer in me though. Well, somewhere obviously, but I'm also learning how to decode birth charts right now, and I'm super excited about that. Finally learning about that a little bit more. Oh, perfect, Ashley. And I will say, because we're talking about Udemy, I am creating another course right now, and it is my masterclass course. It is my ultimate psychic development courses. Probably won't make like any other generic psychic development courses again. If anything, I might redo my intro one, but like intro to psychic development course is like where to start. And then basically I kind of have a bunch of add-ons. You can learn animal communication if you want. Those are the only two that I have available, but eventually I want to be able to have a mediumship course. That's an add-on. I want to add medical intuition. That's kind of like an add-on. And then the master class or the master course that I'm currently writing and scripting, that's like the big kahuna. That's going to give you everything and more. So yeah, that's going to be out, I'm hoping by the end of the year. Not to like bum you guys out, but I think I've kind of decided. I think because I'm writing it now, and I think what was my goal? I think I'm going to take either August or September off of doing videos. So you guys might not get any videos from me for like a month, which kind of sucks, but I'm going to be filming and doing a ton for this course. So I just kind of need to pace myself. Obviously, Patreon members won't see any interruption, but I might be gone for a month and then I might jump back on. So heads up. But if you do purchase the Basic Psychic Skills course, you will get the masterclass for a big discount. I basically want to get everybody that purchased the intro series into the masterclass course so that I can get some reviews and some feedback and, get that kind of going and, tweak it from your guys' feedback. So get that one because you're going to get a pretty big discount on the other one. And I'm only going to leave that window open for so long. Like, I'm thinking y'all well, I won't say it just in case I change my mind, but I want to give you a pretty big discount on that. Anyways, thank you, Karen. It is cancer season. Maybe I'm just getting affected by it. Animal communication does cover both deceased and living. The deceased animals is its own kind of like video and homework and chapter of that course. Yes, medical intuition. I want to do medical intuition before I do the mediumship. I've got too many ideas, but those ones I probably won't even make till next year. This masterclass one is going to just take me so long to film. It's going to be, and then very long to edit. Anyways, back to the Lenormand. The Lenormand. It's French, and basically a woman named, I think it's Marie Lenormand. She was a famous psychic. Like literally, people in high up positions hired her. I don't know if they paid her. I don't know. I needed to again do a little bit more research, but she made these cards. Again, this is not her original version. If you want to look it up, the original version is actually a lot more boring, which is kind of why I liked this deck a little bit more. And basically, she made up a system, and it's different than tarot. So tarot, even if you don't know it too much, you guys probably know there's a major arcana, there's a minor arcana, there's suits. So you got fire, water, air, earth, which is cups, swords, pentacles, what am I forgetting? Wands. But there's none of that in here. There's no suits. It's literally just 36 cards that each have their own individual meaning. And tarot, for example, you you can read those cards individually, right? You can pull a card and you can get kind of a big overarching theme. I got the Wheel of Fortune, which is like my bestie right now, which is why I'm laughing. However, with the Lenormand, you're not supposed to read it so much one card at a time. It's all about the combination. It's about what card follows that card, and you read it in a very linear fashion. And then the other major thing about Lenormand is that it is more mundane. It's more about day-to-day things, how it shows up in your reality in a very physical, small way. Whereas, tarot, we're talking about really big themes, themes of judgment and hope and death, but this is kind of like, let me give you an example. We've got, I'll need to shuffle these, like the cross. The cross is one. We've got clouds, which is another. The mountain. And in all of these, it's just one symbol. Even though there's a lot more artistically on these cards, in the original one, it's literally just the single image. This is mice. And then the fox. So in all of these, you're going to find something similar. This is the anchor. Again, I'm going to make a more in-depth video on this, but I do want to ask you guys first, would you rather have a video on the basics of tarot first or the basics of Lenormand first? Because I'm pretty much ready to start teaching about tarot. I'm feeling way more confident about it now. It's been a while that I've been playing with them, using them. Let me know in the comments, because I'm like eager to do both. And these ones are a lot smaller, a lot easier to kind of get a handle on. I've read with them a few times. It's pretty intuitive. It's pretty easy. But I'm obviously, I probably won't come out with this video until later this year anyway, so I'm going to have a lot of time to mess with the Lenormand. Medical astrology is so cool. You know what's also cool is astrocartography. That's just fun to look at. No way, deceased animals, yes! Which you're kind of getting into mediumship there, but I kind of make it its own thing because some people might want to talk to animals, but maybe they don't want to talk to spirits, So you can definitely check that out. That's already up. My animal communication course and the basic kind of intro psychic development course is up. Tarot. Hey, Adrian. Karen's not sure. You want to say Lenormand? Yes. Lenormand. Oh, we're split. The one thing I know about tarot is there's probably hundreds of videos out there on the tarot. So I know when I make that video, it's not going to, it won't perform the best, but that's okay. I want to do it for you guys anyway. Or I forgot to throw this out at you as well. Or I can do a video where we just talk about the differences between all three in a very light introductory manner. Like I could do Lenormand versus tarot versus Oracle, sorry. So there's also that option as well. Because I've thought about doing an actual tarot course as well, but I'm not quite ready for the course side of things. I don't mind making a video, but so yeah, brief of all three or one of those individually. I've done videos kind of on Oracle, so I won't do any more in depth on that. This, for example, is Oracle. This has no set number. All Oracle decks are just kind of like whatever people want to make, whatever names of the cards, whatever numbers of the cards. The comparison between the three to help people. Okay. I'll think about it. Thank you for your feedback. Anyway, let's get into it. Okay, we have the group reading for tonight, and then we'll jump into individual readings. And, okay. Why not do a comparison and then go into detail about each? Yeah, you just might have to wait for them. So I don't know how eager you are to learn one more than the other. That's some good video content right there. I've been coming up with so many good video ideas. Like even today, I was thinking of another one that I'm eventually going to do, like the different types of readings that you can do. So like I've already done a video that's titled that, and that's more like, oh, there's psychics, mediums, animal communicators, astrologers, blah, blah, blah. This is more like, okay, you want to give a reading. What is email reading? What are email readings like versus phone readings versus in-person readings versus video call readings? So that's going to be another video coming out. I got too many ideas, not enough time. Anyways. All right, group message for tonight, eternal love. Oh, and I pulled out my spooky deck tonight. I was like, I'm just kind of feeling the inklings of fall. Not completely. I'm not quite ready yet. I'm still enjoying summer, but I'm getting excited because I think, again, this October, I'm going to do all kind of spooky videos, focusing maybe mostly on mediumship, spirits. I am going to do a moonology video. I'm going to do a moon phases video in October as well, talking about the moon phases and how you can work with the moon. I have a lot of energy. Sorry, guys. But it's like good. You know, there's sometimes when you got good, a lot of energy and it's just like, oh, I need to calm down. This is the good energy. Okay. Love is love, and it transcends physical death. So I'm picking up the very literal message that for some of you, this is somebody in spirit that wants to come through and connect with you more often. So if you've already been getting messages from maybe somebody who is in spirit and you're kind of wanting to connect, maybe this is them reaching out. But I think more for everybody, this is kind of, I don't know if it's self-love, but it's kind of this message of we need to be coming from here a little bit more. Maybe we're too much in our heads. I'm hearing we're a little bit in kind of survival mode, maybe flight or fight. And we need to remember to calm down and kind of center from our heart. Especially with these other cards that I'm getting. Because I asked how this is appearing, and we've got the Nine of Swords, the Fool in reverse, and the Queen of Wands. And so Nine of Swords, to me, this is all about anxiety. This is anxiety, being stressed out, just that ultimate, like this is the anxiety card. And so right now we're a little bit anxious. I'm hearing that's for a lot of reasons. For some of us, it's that we're tuning into the world, the people around us a little too much. You know, for some of us, it might be more money issues or relationship issues, just things feeling unstable. So there's a lot of like anxiety going on. What is it with this Fool card? Oh, you know what? I'm going to pull the Lenormand. Okay. I got to shuffle this, though, because I forgot. I was separating them out and trying to memorize them. And they're probably a little bit not shuffled. Kind of hard to shuffle such tiny cards, but yes, bring in the love. Spooky is the name of my dog. Okay. I'm asking, how is this showing up on a more mundane level? We got the Fox. It's funny when you learn a new deck, you pull like the same card. This has been the Fox for me for this deck. The Fool. Okay. Okay. So with the Fool card coming in, I think we're being a little bit like we've got blinders on because of this anxiety, because of the stress, you know, whatever it is that's going on for you. And this is kind of like the energy of moving forward without like planning, being a little bit reckless. Like the Fool upright, it's kind of the good version of that. It's like, oh, I'm just going to go out and just be spontaneous and do something. And it's got a good energy to it. But when we get the Fool reversed, it's kind of the reckless energy. It's the doing the things you shouldn't be doing because you're feeling pent up, you're feeling anxious, you're feeling nervous, energetic, whatever it is. And I asked how this is showing up on a more mundane level, and I got the Fox. And the Fox is literally just about illusions, falsehoods, you know, paying attention to I'm hearing my guides are trying to help me right now by giving me comparisons to the tarot. They're telling me it's like the moon card. And that to me is kind of like somebody's lying, somebody is there, there's a false presentation in front of us. And I'm hearing that for all of us, it's lying or betraying us. There's not bad intent. It's more that because we're so up here or in that kind of fight flight mode, we're making things up. It's like we're seeing an illusion that's not really there. Okay. And they're telling me how this is happening in my own life. Like thinking that somebody is mad at you because you haven't heard back from them in like several days. Like that's a false thing that you could be telling yourself, but that's probably not what's actually going on. So it's paying attention to like the things that are throwing you off that aren't true, that are kind of illusions. And it's coming from a place of us being reckless, of us not really paying attention to what's going on, of sitting more in this anxious energy versus coming from our heart. And I'll pull some more cards about how we can do that. This is sort of answering that. And then we got the Queen of Wands. And to me, the Queen of Wands, I pulled it in reverse, and I kind of feel like our guides are just saying, like, this is what needs to happen. We need to get more into this energy. This is about, okay. With the wands, it's kind of about being in a passionate place, being in a place where you don't care what anybody thinks. You don't care about, everything that's going on because you're centered. You are excited about the things that you've got going on. Like, I feel like it's coming from a very grounded place. The Queen of Wands does the inner work around the things that she's excited about, the things she's passionate about. She doesn't necessarily feel the need to like shout it to the world or, get all this attention. Not saying, I'm just giving you an example there. It's more this feeling of when I am centered in myself, when I am coming from a place of love, of passion with everything that I do, I'm not going to have to worry about anxiety. I'm not going to have to worry about looking into things incorrectly because I'm centered within myself. I hope I'm making sense there. Like I feel it. It's that feeling of being secure within your thoughts, your mind, your authentic self, to where you don't care about what others think. You don't care about what society says. You do what you want to do because you are the queen of your own thoughts, your own passions, your life. Tell me if I'm not making sense there. But I think ultimately it comes down to this love of yourself. When you give that love to yourself, when you give the things to yourself that you need, like if you need to cut people out, if you need to give yourself more self-care time, you're going to start eliminating these stresses and anxieties. You're going to stop worrying so much about the things that don't actually exist because you're more centered and secure with yourself. I want to just pull. Should I do the Lenormand? Let's see how this works. Because I feel like the question I'm about to ask is more of a broader thing, but I want to ask how we can embody this love a little bit more. Like, if you're like, okay, Lauren, but I don't know what coming from a place of love is. Like, what does that look like on a mundane level? Lenormand cards. Oh, I don't know this one. I know it's communication is what I'm hearing. Oh, and also there's no reversals in Lenormand at all. Like, none. You know how tarot, some people are like, oh, sometimes you do it, sometimes you don't. Lenormand, no. Hang on, I gotta look up the booklet. I'm pretty sure this is communication. This card stands for nervousness, a mad rush, and sorrows. Moreover, it indicates telephone calls. I think the video I watched talked about communication, and that's what's sticking out for me. The other cool thing about Lenormand is you decide. You'll work with these cards, and you work with them on an individual level just to kind of get their meanings, but they can change based on what cards are laying next to them, if that makes sense, which is kind of true with tarot and oracle as well. But it's a little bit more rigid with these. So communication. honestly, I feel like for some of you, with this anxiety and this like Fool card and the Fox coming up, like I feel like there's things that need to be said to the people in your life. Maybe it's like individual people or people as a whole. Like a lot of your anxieties and fears are coming from you projecting a version of yourself that you no longer want to be. And it's kind of eating away at you. And so communication is important because you kind of got to say, hey world, I'm not doing this anymore, just to let you know. And I'm going to be putting the most authentic version of myself forward. And because of that, you know, I'm establishing those boundaries, like communicating. Like they're telling me, I'm not making sense. You can communicate to somebody on an individual level, like, hey, I need to set this boundary. It's time. It's overdue. Or it can be kind of just making it clear to your circle of people, hey, I stand for this or I don't stand for that. Just there's something about stepping into communicating a little bit more about that authentic Queen of Wands person, this part of you. Something about communicating that, you're going to find that the love part is easier, loving yourself, because you're saying, I do deserve, you know? I hope that makes sense. And I wanted to pull one more Lenormand for show up on a mundane level. That one was popping out. Ooh, fish. This is the fish card. They're so simple, fish. You know, with the tarot, you've got like judgment and temperance, and you're just sometimes you're like, what does that word mean? Fish. And I think this one is literally about your reputation, about work sometimes, and money. Because there's like koi fish, which are a symbol of like fortune. Oh, it's also about luck. So how does that relate to loving ourselves? Maybe we need to go buy some fish. Just kidding. Honestly, I'm kind of feeling like I kind of am feeling like with this card, see, and this is again how to read cards intuitively. I don't have these memorized, but that's the great thing about using your intuition, using your clairs. You don't need to know. I will always come up from a place of intuition over card memorization, which, you know, some people might not like, some other people might like. But the fish card, I think I'm literally just interpreting this as like, for some of you, it's being more authentic in your career, in your workspace, work life. Something about that might be more needed. I feel like I'm not getting the full meaning of that card, but we're learning. The other cool thing about this deck that I wanted to get this one specifically is they've got astrological symbols on this. The original Lenormand doesn't have astrological symbols on it, but I just liked it as like an extra little, you know, symbol imagery that I could do. And this is the, I don't know if I showed the, if anyone wants this is the mystical Lenormand deck. And what's really cool about these is that the original painter literally painted this egg wash style, which was like the paint, the paintings that they did, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, if there's anybody artistic nerds out there, I think that was like pre-Renaissance, like pre-oil painting. They literally had to paint with like egg white wash, and it was like layer after layer after layer. So this guy literally painted all of these on a piece of wood, and it's a picture of that. So it's very like Renaissance-y feel, and just the imagery of these, like I feel like I'm looking into a Renaissance painting, which is a reason why I chose this instead of like the basic original version. And it's got just a little bit more symbology. So if my guides are trying to communicate something else to me, they can use the other symbols on the cards. Is there a fox in the moon card? I don't know. I don't have the Rider-Waite in front of me. You might know. Yes, making so much sense. I kind of felt like that reading was like all for me, so I'm sorry if it was. But I'm part of that collective too. We must all be going through something very similar. How can we open our hearts to those that we have already identified as untrustworthy? And I think Lauren advice, you don't have to, just because you've moved on from somebody doesn't mean you just have to magically let them back in. You can send them love, you can send them light, but you don't have to be friends. But just because Silly Rabbit asked that, I'm going to ask the question. Healing from them. Synergy and healing. And to me, I'm kind of feeling like with this card, the healing is getting the space, getting the time from them, doing the inner work around releasing that a little bit more. Like if you're really feeling like you're still in their energy, get rid of it. And then synergy, I'm hearing like just synergy of finding new people, of telling yourself, hey, I do deserve a relationship that's a little bit better than this. And there's something about being around people that do align with what you want. I keep turning green. Stop it. That there's something about being in their energy that will really help you understand that you don't have to accept less than. Pisces! That last card was for me. Unreal. Oh, yes, it was Pisces. Sorry. Right? Yeah. And I do not know what the fox one is. That is a weird symbol. Because some of these are... Obviously, there's not 36 zodiac signs, so some of them are different. Some of them are just Roman numerals. I'll have to look into that. Oh, maybe it's the houses. Yeah, I think so. Anyways, Aguash pre-Renaissance. I knew Karen would know. All right. I'm also going to do a little bit of book divination for the group. Be patient. One of the exciting things about the culture and the times in which we live is that we can do almost anything we want to do. Our advancing technology makes it possible for us to have and do things that previous generations never dreamed of. We've gotten used to the instant gratification of our wants and desires. This makes being patient more challenging than it might be otherwise. I'm not going to read this whole thing. Learn to be patient with yourself. Enjoy the process of inner growth for what it is, an ongoing opportunity to become the best we can become at all levels of our life. Don't push the river, just let it flow. This is a book that I was just like intuitively led to one day. I picked it up and it's very like, they're just like little short passages, so I like to use them for book divination. Did I release? Oh, yeah, I did. And I did a podcast on anxiety. And I think I found this book during the time that I was having panic attacks. Let me know if you guys have listened to that podcast. If anyone listened to my podcast, I'm curious, let me know. But I think it makes so much sense why I needed this book at that time. I needed to simplify my life. If you listen to that podcast, you know. Alrighty, friends. Let's do individual readings again. If somebody donates, I'll pull the Lenormand card for you for that. And then I might pull some of these for like some of the bigger donations. But yeah, you can send it through Venmo. You can send it through Super Chat. And if you send it through Venmo, let me know. And when we catch up on the individual readings, we will do guessing games. Panic attacks. Oh no, hey, yes, I haven't had them in a very long time, but they sucked. They definitely sucked. I feel like I'm missing something that I wanted to talk about. I think I said it all. Felt like the world was spinning. Yes. Heart racing. Not fun. Okay, let me get this out of my... Wait, no, I need that. Hang on, I'm stalling because my timer is about to go off. I guess Karen is the most recent commenter. So Karen, I don't know if you got it last time. Doesn't matter. But Karen, if you have a question, we can start with you. We just happened to perfectly get my timer right. If you need a second to think, I can do a guessing game. Interesting. Yeah, and if you listen to that podcast, a lot of it is because we're getting our body into fight or flight, which can be stressful. So it's almost like anything can trigger that. You know what I mean? No sound. Can you guys hear me? Is that what you meant? That's weird. Well, Karen, you got the member reading for tonight. So since you're a member, my alarm went off. You were the closest commenter, so you get the member reading tonight. Let me know what your question is. But I'll get to Jordan first. Ooh, what is Kundalini energy and how does that tie into godhood working? Okay. I don't know personally about Kundalini, but that's okay. I'm going to be answering intuitively anyway. I don't need to know what it is. Thanks, Johnny. My one complaint with this deck is it is just way too thick. Literally splitting it in half is about the size of a normal tarot deck. Oh, they printed it on such heavy cardstock. Okay. All right, how do I want to answer this, Jordan? I'm going to ask what is Kundalini energy specifically for you, too. Ooh, and we got Temperance, Major Arcana card. Temperance, to me, I'm hearing, Jordan, that it will help you when you are going through the really difficult times. Like, it's like those moments where you... what is that word that everyone uses? Like a spiritual awakening. When you're really feeling like you're moving out of a big stage of life and into another big stage of life. This is when you feel like the world is pressing down on you and it's changing you and you're like resisting that change, or maybe you're wanting to open up to that change and you're wanting to welcome it in. That's what the Kundalini energy is for you. I feel like the goddess on this isn't... I get my Indian ones all messed up. The multiple arms, is that Ganesh? I could be wrong. I feel like that god specifically has something to do with that for you. Like she's telling me that she will help with that. How does that tie into godhood working? It's really going to give you new ideas and new approaches, that are very physical in nature. Like maybe it's like hitting the physical reset button for your body is kind of what I'm hearing. I'm going to just pull some oracle cards to get further information on this. Yeah. Okay. And I got the death card, which is exactly what I was saying. It's, again, when you are feeling like something needs to end and you really want to step into the next chapter. Hey, dog. Ash is coming in to say hi. All you can see is his floofy tail. Oh, hi. Hi. Bye. Yes. So this is, for you, it's something about the energy of wanting something fresh, something new, and maybe you're feeling like it's a little slow moving or you're not quite understanding what needs to be released. And it's going to give you some like very practical, like not practical as much as like it's going to be very connected to your body, to the earth, to grounding that root chakra. And I think that's going to feel new and different, and it might help you to kind of transition through this a lot easier. And the other card I pulled is Acceptance and Equality, Lady de los Muertos, sorry. Which is also like a goddess of death in a lot of ways. So anything that you want to bring about that you want to get rid of, maybe use Kundalini energy for. And I'm going to pull one of these cards for you. What question should I ask? I'm going to ask what you should utilize it for. Because I know we got like deaths and those big overarching themes. But let's get a little bit of more house mundane day-to-day stuff. And I got the Rider. This is the first card in the Lenormand deck. And let me just, this one I don't quite have memorized. I'm surprised at how quickly I could memorize these. That's why I enjoy these, is they were like really fast and easy to get into. Horse Rider. This card brings good news. Something set in motion. Okay. I think really this is saying if you want to set anything in motion, if you want to get the energy moving, then absolutely use this Kundalini energy. And as far as I don't know if I answered your question. Sorry. How does that tie into godhood working? I think it also, to kind of answer that question, it helps you get an understanding of how to be more okay with, maybe it's death in the literal sense, or just letting go of, old chapters, old things that aren't serving you anymore. That's how it relates. Okay, I think I need to end it there. All right. Thank you, Jordan, for the donation. Let's see. I think we've got Johnny next. Busy getting scammed over text. Ganesh is the elephant god, I think, of protection. Yeah, I was feeling like I was not right on that. Can this energy exist? Oh, you're asking somebody else. My bad. And his floofy ears. You guys are going to see my animals a lot in this week's video. This week is going to be an animal communication video. Finally. It's been a hot minute. So you guys are going to get to see them a little bit more up close and personal. You get to see them quite a bit in some of my vlogs, my Sabbath vlogs. Is this via PayPal? Not PayPal, sorry. Super Chat or Venmo. Shiva or Kali. So they are both connected to death. Yeah, whatever resonates with you. So Karen, you can still have that member reading. Just let me know what your question is. I'm going to jump to Johnny since we didn't get info from Karen yet. Just a general, please. Okay. I'm going to ask Johnny, what's most important for you to know right now? Johnny, are you going on vacation? Because you need to. Okay. Page of Swords. What is this about, guys? I feel like we're just getting some big stuff tonight. So, Johnny, I got the 10 of Coins, Page of Swords in reverse, excuse me, and the Emperor in reverse. And I'm kind of getting this mood of okay, your needs and wants are met, but you're not being open to ideas, and you don't quite have the boundaries that are needed. And I'm like, okay, well, what is this about? And then I pulled the Mummy card, which is about change. Mummies in a sense were people, and then they're having to get wrapped up and preserved, and they've changed, and now they're mummies, I guess. was a bad analogy. But I think the point of this card is kind of about being open to change and understanding that it's coming. And I feel like your guys are trying to tell you, like, your stuff is taken care of. 10 of coins is like the practical stuff, the roof over your head, stability, money, structure. Like, I feel like you're very focused on it. And you're focused on always the next step of wanting more, which is not wrong. It's more just, what are you not paying attention to because of that? And for some reason, not appreciating where you're at a little bit more is holding you back from new ideas and kind of like, forgot to turn my cell phone off of buzz mode. Hang on, sorry. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Priya. Okay, well, that worked because it let me know about Venmo. I'll get to Priya after this. Hang on, sorry, opening up Venmo. Okay, Page of Swords. Yeah, so I feel like you're wanting new ideas. You know, you don't quite feel like you're here yet in this 10 of coins vibe of like all your needs and wants being met, like really feeling like you're accomplished, you have all the things that you want. And I think because you're resisting that change, because you're not being appreciative as much as you could be, I think it's kind of blocking some of the ideas that could come in to really help bring this about a little bit more. So like, I feel like you've been asking for ways to like make this manifest, and your guys are like, we're trying to tell you, but because you're in resistance to doing anything different, because you're not letting us do some things for you, okay, you're not getting those intuitive insights as much. And with the Emperor card, I got this in reverse, and I think actually what this is you almost have too much boundaries. You have too much control over your life and how you want it to go, that your guides can't really step in and be like, hey, there's an easier way to do this, if that makes sense. So try to loosen up. You know, the Emperor puts walls up around the kingdom. He keeps people out. He's very much like, these are the boundaries, don't mess with them. Try to think more of being the energy of the Empress, where she manifests things. She has abundance. She lets it come in. She doesn't try to control how it happens. She just lets it grow. She receives instead of searching or seeking out things. I hope that makes sense. I think it all comes down to just being in a resisting energy. So I kind of like playing with both the Lenormand and the tarot, because, yeah, that's kind of big themes. So let's ask on a more mundane level, day-to-day level, what can Johnny be doing? I got the snake. Hang on. All I know about this one is it's a more negative card. No, but they're telling me it's not the negative version of this. So all the Lenormand cards are either negative, positive, or neutral. I could argue almost any card is like that too. Anything in the world is negative, positive, or neutral. This card indicates it's that same group energy reading. It's the betrayal, the falseness, the detours that you're taking. It's the stuff that you're telling yourself is in the way, that you're believing that isn't actually there. You're kind of telling yourself, I have to do it this way, I have to do it that way. But really, those are just things that you're kind of making up, if that makes sense. I think I remember this also standing for like being like very hardworking and very diligent, which you're really good at, but it's almost like loosening your grip a little bit, like around this golden egg is what I'm feeling like. This is giving me like Slytherin, Harry Potter vibes. Ultimately, if it's not making sense, I think it's about, again, loosening up the control, paying attention to the self-limiting beliefs of what you're telling yourself, like, this has to happen in order for me to get what I want. You know, be open to change, be open to the fact that there could be an easier way. They wanted to give you one positive card. This is the Clover. Oh, I love this message that's coming through. So, Johnny, this is the Clover. Clover is all about luck, like including these little ladybugs here too. This is about the fact that I think you see everything as like, I have to work hard for the things that I want. I have to do everything myself. And again, your guides are saying, like, why can't luck drop some things in your lap sometimes? Like, I feel like you're somebody who's been taught to, I feel like this is a lot of people too, which is kind of why I'm going a little bit more on this. You're somebody who's like, oh, I have to work hard to get the things that I want. But your guides are kind of saying, like, no, things can drop out of the universe to where you feel like you're lucky, but really, luck is an illusion as well. I love one of my favorite quotes that I like keep everywhere is that luck is really when opportunity meets preparedness. You know, it to an outside perspective, luck can seem like it just came out of nowhere. And we often feel like we can't be lucky or we can't have lucky things happen to us because it's totally out of your control. But really, what luck is that you were prepared, you were ready, and then when the opportunity came up, you seized it. And again, it's the combination of those two things that make luck. To the outside perspective, but to you, you kind of manifested it in a way. You were open. You let your guides kind of take half the lead, if that makes sense. So I feel like your guys are trying to like introduce the idea that you can step back and receive, and you can receive luck and abundance without having to put a whole lot of work in. Okay. Thanks, Johnny. I'll try to go faster on these guys. Sorry. I feel like my dog is digging a hole. I don't know where he is. Yes, he is digging a hole. Ash! Hang on. Ash! Ash! Quit it. Oh, gosh. Sorry, y'all. He's digging a hole to China right now. I'm gonna ask my husband to deal with it. Maybe he stopped. He can just get under the fences sometimes, which bothers me. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Just came back from a weekend away. I must have been picking up on that. Good boy in trouble now. He's like filthy too. All right. All right, Karen, sorry. And then Priya, I know you sent a Venmo, so thank you. Venmo, let me see if you threw that question up. General reading. Okay. So Priya, I'll get to you right after Karen. Karen's questions, any messages from my ancestors? Ooh, let's use the Halloween deck for that. That's a good one to use. I love this card. Scrying. Intuition. That dog. We just laid down a bunch of mulch, so he's just like, oh, so much to dig in. Scrying, intuition. What about it? I've already got a feeling, but I think they want you to use your intuition. They want you to use... Ooh, okay. They definitely want you to tap into your own psychic abilities, to your intuition. I take this card very literally when it comes up because it literally has like 5 or 6 different ways of like intuiting information. Sorry, y'all. My anxiety can't handle this right now. I need to deal with it. I'm texting my husband. Mm-hmm. And the reason why they want you to get into your intuitive abilities, to scry, this is like, I think they've got like a pentagram here, which you can use for like lots of different things, crystals, bones, and a crystal ball. I'm getting very like visual for you, Karen, which makes sense because you're like an artist. So very much like I feel like I almost gave you this message before. Maybe I haven't, but it's almost this message of use your visuals. Like maybe if you don't want to mix it in with art, you don't have to, but get into a mode of intuiting kind of what your ancestors are wanting to tell you, because I think they're trying to come in and give you more hope. The star card is about hope, optimism, positivity, like good things coming. And I feel like you need a little bit of that right now. And so they're trying to say that if you use your intuition, if you connect with them, they're going to give you that hope and that excitement because they see what's coming up next. And sometimes we can't see that. My husband's trying to fish him out with cheese. I'm really feeling their presence strong. Awesome. That's great. Okay. Let me get to Priya next. So she donated through Venmo. Thank you, Priya. Oh, and Corey too. Thank you, Corey. We'll get to Corey right after this. Okay. Priya, how do I want to do this? General reading. They're telling me to ask what's going on in life right now, because that's important to know. I want to talk about something that's going on right now. And it's something about needing more balance. I pulled the Two of Swords. This is like more balance. I pulled it in reverse too. Balance in I'm kind of hearing like it's like the fun stuff that you do for you and then the boring stuff that you've got to do for like work or life or something. Like, are you giving yourself the passion and the excitement and the things that you want to do? Also, let me pull some more cards though to make sure I'm right about this. Your husband and cheese, yeah. He's like, ouch, cheese. I feel bad too because he's got to leave tomorrow for Norway. So I'm sure he's packing. He's dealing with our son right now. But I was like, I don't want to skip my live night. Please let me go live. All right. Is that card for you? That's not right for you. Sorry. Okay. This card is for you. Shit. Now I'm doubting myself. Hang on. Reshuffle. Sorry, Priya. You've been waiting a long time for me to get my stuff together tonight. Okay. Priya. We're talking about balancing something. Yes. There's just a huge message about duality for you, Priya. I'm getting a lot of like twos and twos and twos. And I think some of those cards actually a little bit were you. And it was kind of like death, cycles ending. Again, we got the Lady de los Muertos, which is like acceptance and equality. We've got equality on this card. The werewolf card is also about the fact that this person is a werewolf and a man at the same time. He's got his passionate, excited side, but then he's also got his like down to earth, normal side. And then we've got these two skeletons, lots of twos going on for you. And it's about balancing, because I pulled this card originally in reverse, Priya. It's about balancing both of these sides. It's about making sure maybe you've got one or the other going on. Maybe you're too intense. Maybe you're too passionate. I don't think that's the case. I think you fall more on the side of doing the day-to-day boring stuff that you got to do. But like at the end of the day, are you doing things that get you excited, make you wild, make you passionate? That's kind of like the swords energy. It's like, making quick decisions based on like your ideas, your passions. And I think, again, I think this card is nodding back to our group reading of the same message of like, when you nurture yourself, when you give yourself those things to get excited and passionate about, and just kind of like saying no more to the people around you that want you to do things. Like, I don't know if you're a big people pleaser, Priya, that's kind of what I'm getting, but I feel like you give to everybody else, but like, what do you do for you that gets you excited? Like, I've really been trying to do that myself, and I'm giving myself more time to read books, more time to listen to videos, learn things that I want to learn. On the nights where my husband and I kind of have this like system set up of he watches him this night, I watch him this night, so that we can get some alone time. Like, do you have that for yourself, and do you actually take advantage of that? Like, now I'm trying to put my foot down more of like, no, I'm not going to give up tonight because or because of this or that. I'm going to stick to it because this is what I need. And when I give to myself first, I end up being better for everybody. So like, there's this huge message, Priya, about balancing that, bringing a little bit more of that passion that you, whatever you want to have, that's your excitement, your thing, your hobby, like, give that more to yourself. And I want to ask what this looks like on a more mundane level with the Lenormand cards. Okay. I'm going to just start with this one. No, they're telling me to do multiples because that's how you use it. So I'll just say I first pulled the Key card, which is a really great card. This is a card about unlocking secrets, about unlocking new chapters. And I feel like this will happen when you kind of balance this out more. You balance what Priya needs versus what everyone else in your life needs. So let me ask, because I'm again asking the same question of like, how will this show up? I love this. Okay. I'm working with these Lenormand cards. This is new. So I got the Key, and you read them left to right, like very much like a book. So I don't know if I'm flopped on your screen, but this is the first card followed by the second card. And you got the neutral card. There's only 2 neutral cards in here, sort of neutral, and it's the man and the woman. And like, this card basically just means you. So you're going to be unlocking you. You're going to be unlocking a new version of yourself. It's like that Queen of Swords energy that we were talking about earlier. So I'm going to pull one more card, though, because this is a very basic, like, there's no more meaning other than that. This is like literally a woman in your life or yourself, some woman. It could also be that you're unlocking a new relationship, like maybe a new friendship, new girlfriend, whatever it is for you. But I'm going to pull one more card to kind of clarify this. Stars. Hang on. I don't think I pulled the stars. It feels like a good card. Another card of luck. That a matter will succeed, success, intuition, spirituality, psychic powers, and astrology. I'm just picking up on such like divine feminine energy. Honestly, Priya, like, I'm getting that when you do this for yourself, it's going to unlock all of these things. Like, I feel like you're going to become more intuitive. You're going to feel more in love with yourself, in love with your body, more confidence. Like, there's something about giving to yourself that just makes you a whole much bigger, I don't want to say better person, but like, when you're so tuned in with yourself, it just makes life a lot easier. You see a lot more, you experience a lot more. The stars card kind of give me that same like hope. I know it's not the same as the star card in the tarot, but what was that word that was really sticking out to me? Luck. Success. Hang on. I'm going to pull a tarot card to clarify this little spread here, just to make sure I'm understanding. That's a great way you can use the Lenormand as well, is you can you can try to guess, okay, what is the individual things that we're talking about? And if you're not quite understanding, you can pull an oracle card or a tarot card to be like, what are we talking about overall? Which is what I'm going to do here. What are we talking about overall? It's really overcoming any struggles that you have with feeling passionate, creative, excited about life, honestly. Right now, that's a little bit more of a struggle, but when you give more to yourself, you're going to find that you enjoy things more. You're going to get into certain hobbies or things that interest you, and you're going to become a stronger, more intuitive, a leader. Like, I can feel it, but I'm not great at putting it in words. Like, I can see the virtue. It's like this beacon, this goddess who's so in tune with herself. And it all comes from just giving yourself love, time, attention. That is the theme of tonight. Okay, so Priya donated a little bit more, which is why I'm doing a little bit more in depth with her. So Priya, I pulled Be Patient again. Okay. And I didn't read all of this before, but what's sticking out to me here is the gratitude part of this. Sometimes when we're so focused on what we don't have, we forget to appreciate what we do have. I think, again, that was in the group reading. There will always be hurdles to overcome. The process of growth in any endeavor can often seem like one step forward and two steps back. Sometimes I'm disconcerted when I look at my list of things I wanted to accomplish. 6 months ago, I may have checked forgiveness off my list, only to find now that it's back in my life again as an issue I have to deal with. It seems as though I have to start all over, but as I begin to examine it, I see how much the things I've previously done have helped. Use your journal as an ongoing means of gauging how far you've come in terms of tackling some of your personal challenges. Learn to be patient with yourself. So I do think, Priya, a little bit of this too. I think that's what's distracting you from doing this, from finding the balance. You're trying to overcome all these things. You're trying to manifest these things. And it's almost like you're making it harder on yourself because you're not filling your cup first, if that makes sense. I want to pull one more card for Priya. Again, she just donated a little bit more. Infinite possibilities. Priya, when you do this, your world is going to open up to infinite possibilities. The School of Stars, you got a lot of stars in this reading, by the way. To me, this is like saying all of this is going to give you hope. It's going to give you passion. It's going to give you that zest of life again. And if anyone else is resonating with this, like, take it too. I do feel like there's a lot of multiple messages coming out tonight. Right now, because you're trying to control too much, I think everything feels very small. But when you start taking care of yourself, and like, I can speak to this personally, life gets easier. You feel like you can accomplish more. You feel like you can do more, but also not working as hard. And the possibilities of the future just seem to widen. And I think when you give to yourself, again, fill up your cup first, you're really going to start to see that happen. Alrighty, thank you, Priya. And I think we had Silly Rabbit donate next, and then Jordan. Okay. Question. I hear they got elves in Norway. They've got all sorts of Norse gods in Norway too, like Vikings. Oh, I'm so jealous he's going. It's expensive over there. It's like one of those places where like a cup of coffee like costs like $10. You know what I mean? Okay, let's look at Silly Rabbit's question. Should I accept my boss's offer to keep me until the end of the month and then use you as a per diem consultant and provide me free referrals for 3 months, or should I end with him on July 31st? I don't know about that. I don't quite understand what's going on, but like my first intuitive hit was like trying to take advantage of you. I don't know if that's right. Let me read the rest of your. He's letting me go due to I alerted him I wasn't going to engage in unethical business practice. The per diem stuff isn't unethical, though. Okay. So let me just get this straight so that I'm asking my questions right. Basically, you're trying to decide, should you just go completely, or you would stay for an extra 3 months and you get free referrals. Would you still be working during that? That's like very important to know. Sorry. Normally I don't ask clarifying questions, but and I guess what I should say, it doesn't really matter. Silly rabbit, what I'm getting is that if it's a matter of like working and not getting referrals versus working and getting the referrals, like take the free referrals. But if I'm missing something, if it's that you actually still have to work with him for 3 months, then it's like a big hell no. Because if it's that you're not working with him and you're getting free referrals, he's basically kind of giving you a client base to get started from, if that makes sense. That makes me mad that happened to you. I'll pull a card. Let me just see. I feel like the answer. I know per diem consultant, because that I should know what per diem is, and I don't. Hang on. I know I said like before you can just read it without knowing, but I feel like the context is important. The allowance for, I don't know what that means. You can work as a consultant. So would you still be working with him? Oh, you can work as a consultant or take the referrals or both? I don't feel like you should work with him. Like, let's leave that there. So I don't know if it's a possibility to not work with him and take the referrals. That's the best possible. You would train the employees. Okay. I think ultimately what I'm getting, I don't quite understand what the logistics of it is, but I'm getting that you should get out of there, absolutely. But if there's a way you're not around him, but you can also be like building your client base or like still profiting off of it in some way, it could be helpful. No work, just referrals. Yeah, I mean, if you're not having to work for it and you're getting referrals, I kind of say, yeah. I don't know how many you're going to get that will work out, but I don't think you should be working with him anymore. Again, going off of my original gut feeling. Let's pull a card, though. Yeah. The whole thing is like, this is a weird analogy, but they're showing it to me like putting a bunch of ingredients in a pie that just don't go together, and the pie comes out just like garbage. Like, and I think the symbol for that is kind of just understanding that if you continue to work with him, it's just there's no synergy, there's no sweetness, there's nothing good. I pulled this card in reverse. Like, it would just be bad, it would be undercooked, it would be overcooked, it would be burnt. Like, strength. I think overall your guides are saying, like, don't make this decision from a place of fear. You know, if you're sticking around for an extra 3 months for these referrals because you're afraid you can't make money or you can't start a new career, like that's the energy we want to move away from. because you're strong. Like, you set the boundaries here, and you said no. Hey, this is me. This is what I'm not okay with. And your guides are kind of cheering you on and saying, like, yes, you're sticking up for yourself. Yes, you're saying, no, universe, I don't want this. So don't go back on that energy. You set that with good intention. You set that for a good reason. I don't think that training people would be bad, though, to be honest. Like, I know I'm giving you mixed messages all over the place. Like, what I'm getting is that there's good and bad for all of these little options. I do feel like taking the referrals, like training these people, wouldn't be the worst, but it might not give you exactly what you want. Oops. I'm just going to ask. Is there any shadiness attached with just accepting the referrals? Yeah, that's why I was like trying to clarify. I don't think it's going to make you happy, but I don't think there's anything shady about it. I think it's more that it'll give you the opportunity to start something new. Like, I got the child card in reverse, which to me is like, it's not going to feel fun. It's not going to feel good. But, ultimately, this is a good card of, sorry, you can't see it. This is a good card of new beginnings, like fresh energy. So it might be that it does give you a good foundation for moving forward. And you got the flowers with, or wait, no, this isn't the flowers. It looks like flowers, but it's something else. Oh, no, I'm right. Flowers. And this was if you don't accept the referrals and you finish. Like, there's going to be good and bad to both. If you just finish and walk away, it's also going to be good. Honestly, if I'm not being clear, like, what this is about is maybe kickstarting some connections or not. Either way, you're going to make them, but you might make them faster by taking on these referrals. Yeah, I was kind of getting that. If you can work with them but not him, I don't think that would be a bad thing at all. All right, sorry for being all over the place, Jordan. There's like a lot there. There's a lot of variables. We're looking into the past and the future, and we're looking at like 3 different options. So it's just like, and the influence of other people with bad intentions. So it's just messy. But know that your guys are saying you're strong. Make the decision from a place of strength, not fear, of knowing you can handle it, of knowing, that you think the outcome is good. And then you'll be able to feel more confident in those decisions. Thanks, Karen. I'm not doing animal. Maybe I should do it that way. It's more just kind of B-roll of them as I'm talking about them, but maybe that's a good idea for the future. Jordan says, last question for the night. Been working with Hecate and giving her offerings and invoking her in matters of protection. Cool beans. How's my relationship going with her, and any message about my path? Okay. How your relationship is going with her. She's telling me that she's helping you to forgive, to reduce